This video was brought to you by NCIX. Great technology, selection, and service.
Hello everyone, this is Dimitri with Hardware Canucks, and enough teasing, we have a highly anticipated chassis from Phanteks, and to give you a little bit of a refresh, their first case ever was the Enthoo Primo that we awarded the case of the year last year. So the Enthoo Pro is finally rolling out, and it will seriously challenge competing full towers, as not only we are seeing excellent feature sets but incredibly attractive price points as well. The windowed version stands at $100, while a non-window option is $10 less. Aesthetically, this actually feels like a Phanteks case with plenty of resemblance to the original Enthoo Primo. The panel design is quite unique, with a small angular window to showcase the internal logo and a larger portion for the rest of the components. The exterior plastics look like brushed aluminum, and the same type found on fractal design cases that look elegant without any significant hit on the cost. We have 3 optical drives, and you can see that brushed grain looking pretty sweet without the annoyance of all the fingerprints found on actual aluminum. Behind the stealth cover we have 4 USB ports, 2 of which are USB 3, audio jacks, and a reset button. Taking off the panel, a large dust filter is right there, it is removable, and included is a 200mm fan with appropriate cutouts for sort of unrestricted intake, plus dual 120 and 140mm fan support as well. The front panel also has some side ventilation that helps with total airflow delivery, so that's very much appreciated. Power button is located on top of the case, along with a large mesh that has a built-in dust filter, and overall excellent cooling up top with triple 120 and 140mm fan mounts, so radiators up to 420mm are supported, and actually for this price bracket that's very impressive. At the rear we get an exhaust fan with height adjusted mounting strips that complement flexibility for top mounted radiators, and as there's 3 inches until the ram slots, thick rads up top are totally possible. Then there's the 8 PCI slots, and finally we're seeing dedicated reservoir mounting holes for water cooling builds that would suit tube reservoirs very well. The Enthoo Pro is elevated quite high with sturdy case feed, and you can see the 2 removable dust filters at the bottom, making this a fully dustproof enclosure. So far so good. I'm really happy to see no features missed for this $100 full tower. Taking a closer look inside, we get this compartment separation with all of the drives accessed exclusively from the rear that I do prefer, a power supply bracket that is only available with the windowed version, and also the main chamber with a ton of rubber grommets. The power supply bracket is great as it hides all the sort of exiting cables. However, it must be removed every time you need access to your power supply, and it's not as easy as it should be, since the 3 screws in the back hold the cover. There's a large cutout on the side of the bracket to pass, for example, your PCI cables, but nothing else on top that could easily incorporate SSD mounts and perhaps even more cutouts. Also, as more fans are supported at the bottom, the bracket will consequently block the airflow, and I think it should have been more open to allow the integration of bottom intake. 2 more 120mm fans can be installed on the drive cage. However, you must first remove this supporting bracket. It just sits on 2 screws, so that's not a big issue, and you have yourself some additional airflow. Now, since the Enthoo Pro is so water cooling ready, this supporting bracket is actually used to install an included reservoir bracket, and that's really considerate of Phanteks. The bracket has many mounting holes for compatibility with different reservoirs. GPUs over 13 inches are supported, so installing extra fans on the drive cage is welcome, and clearance will depend on the size of reservoir if you do decide to put one there. And coming around to the back, I'm very happy to see their Velcro cable management system in place, and looks like Phanteks has done the initial routing for you. Plus there are many cable tie mounts spread around, and we get a single SSD bracket that can be relocated to accommodate your preferred cable routing. Enthoo Pro also features a fan hub for 6 fans that can either be powered and controlled through the 4-pin motherboard connector, and for non-compatible motherboards, a power SATA cable is included just in case. The hub can be also relocated a little further down, giving users flexibility, again depending on how you configure your cable management. There's an ample of 1.5 inches of space at the rear, plus the ability to tuck some of the smaller cables underneath the frame, so Enthoo Pro is fully equipped for a totally enjoyable and hassle-free assembly. The two cages are removable with these unique drive caddies using sort of like a wing-like design to secure the 3.5-inch drives, so no need to flex the plastic for mounting. They are also SSD compatible with centered mount, so I am happy to see that. Removing the cage platform, and we also get some clearance for a 240mm radiator at the bottom, so a power supply bracket in this scenario would not work. We still get over 200mm with the bottom rad in place, so power supply compatibility is not a concern. The front will support a 240mm radiator as there's so much internal clearance, so thick radiators and push-pull are welcome. I was also happy to find a toolbox included with the case that conveniently separates all your extra screws and is a much better alternative over like a single bag that most cases come with. And to no surprise, the finished build looks outstanding, with roomy internals that screams for some water cooling components to be installed inside. All of the cutouts around the motherboard make cabling super efficient and most importantly clean. Everything in the rear looks as expected as well, with cables flush to the case and tucked away, so if you're wondering what is a totally noob-friendly case for cable management, the Enthoo Pro is definitely it. And one more thing I'd like to mention is this modder-friendly concept Phanteks have gone ahead with, allowing you to disassemble basically the entire chassis. So the top frame, optical drive bracket, the side drive panel, and the front frame are all attached with screws and not rivets. And this was totally unexpected from my side for a chassis in this price bracket, and huge props to Phanteks for trying to introduce such features back into the enthusiast chassis market. And to conclude, the Enthoo Pro is one impressive product, as we've sort of gotten accustomed to missing features on expensive cases, and the Pro doesn't seem to miss a thing. With outstanding cooling and water cooling options, appropriately sized internals for enthusiast hardware with great cable management, the fan hub implementation, the single SSD bracket, 2 dedicated spots for the reservoirs, and totally modular chassis frame for modder-friendly endeavors, all at a super value of just $100. That puts many cases to shame. I'm talking to you, Antec 1900. The only feature that I think wasn't entirely thought through was the power supply bracket. Now, sure, it does the job, but it could do a lot more, such as additional SSD mounts, extra cutouts for cables, and a more open design to allow airflow if the bottom intake fans are installed. And I feel the introduction of the Enthoo line is really important, as it highlights that great features don't have to cost a fortune. So if you're looking for a future-proof full tower, we'd strongly recommend this damn good value case. But share your thoughts on the Enthoo Pro in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. This definitely takes the top spot for 2014 full towers at the moment, and this makes me really excited on the future roadmap for Phanteks as a company. So guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more reviews and similar content, and we'll see you in the next one.